All right, so looks like price is gonna keep that intact there. So now let's drop down to the 2-minute, and what I'm also looking at too, if we look at the time, it is 10:45, so it's like right about where the 10:50 to 11:10 macro is. So price might want to do something there. So I'm going to mark out, this is the 15-minute fair value gap there. So I'm going to mark out, actually I'm going to mark out this 2-minute. And I'm just going to mark out this as a 2-minute fair value gap. So if I see price, so I want to see price being supported here. That's what we want to see, quote unquote. But being that we're so high, I want to see this get disrespected. Once it get disrespected, then I want to see it act as an inversion fair value gap. But if price goes and, you know, after this time frame, after this, I keep saying time frame, apologies, after this 11 o'clock, I am not looking for anything. I wanted to see it happen in probably like 4 minutes or so during the 10:10 macro, 10:50 macro to 11:10. So let's see what we get here. Okay, so now we're in the 1050. Let's mark this out to 1110. So we're in that macro time right now. So it does look like this is going to be inverted. Let me drop down to the 1 minute, see what we have. Okay, just looking at price here. Yeah, price is closing above the consequent encouragement of this fair value gap here. So we want to see at least a body close down here in this half, and then we will look for a short setup going lower. All right, now price is just broke below that 2 minute fair value gap. I personally, I know probably other traders that that trade inversions will consider that a inversion now, but I actually want to see price close below it completely, because these 3 consecutive down close candle is one bullish order block. So I want to see actually price close below that fair value gap before I try to enter anything inside of there. All right. And that is what I'm talking about, having price close below that before we engage in anything, because I mentioned 3 consecutive down close candle that creates one bullish order block, and looks like price is, you know, most sensitive area of that order block is here. I'm not gonna draw that out because I don't want too much on my chart. And price hit that, even though we're in a fair value gap. Price didn't close below it as yet. It went below, but as we mentioned, bullish order block. So we want to see price close below that first before we engage with anything. Now, if price close below this candle here, I will treat this as a bearish order block, coupled with a inversion on the 2 minute chart. So you see how I'm just like looking at price. This is how I'm looking at price. at the moment. So, and as I mentioned, we're in the 1050 to 1110 macro. So once price goes out of here, then I'm all done. If price runs, 100 handles down here, back towards the midnight open, I'm fine. If it goes all the way up here, I'm good, because it's not giving me what I'm looking for. So no need for me to engage in price. All right. I know I keep muting. I'm going back and forth. I don't want the recording to catch any background noise or anything, so I'm just muted, going back and forth. All right. All right, we are back, and it's just about like 2 minutes before the 11 o'clock time window for the silver bullet is done. So now we get price closing below R. Yeah, I'm gonna mark it as a price gonna close because it's all the way down there. So now we create an inversion. Pull this over so you can see the label. So now we create an IFVG. So now what we're gonna do, we're actually going to engage price. I'm going to put a about here. Now price don't normally come back to the bottom of the inversion. Sometimes it would just take off, but for me, I like to set a limit order for it to come back there and then drop. So I'm not going to stop loss above here. So I'm just gonna wait for that to see if price is gonna come back here and then go below. If it doesn't, I do tend to miss some trades in that, so that's up to your discretion if you want to do that. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll, once price close, I'll just market order in. But in this case, I want to see price comes back, tag it just like that, and then we are in I'm looking at this fair value gap here. I don't want to see that traded above, and that's inside the inversion. So I'm looking at the consequent encouragement of the inversion and also the 2-minute fair value gap that it created there. Chart looking a little bit messy, but just want to illustrate that in price there. And I want to see this swing high. Stop loss is above this swing high here. And we got in the trade right at 11 o'clock. So that's something to note right there. Once price, we'll see what price does here. But this is, I'm following all my rules. So we'll see what price does because we're following rules, right? We're in the ICT silver bullet time of 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. New York time. We are above, we took out buy side, we are above the midnight open. We're in a deep premium. Price went below this 2-minute inversion that I marked out. 2-minute fair value gap that I marked out. Price closed below it, created an inversion of that fair value gap, and we are in a 2-minute fair value gap now. I want to see this close below here and below this consequent encouragement. Now I want to see price now I want to see price display actually lower. I don't want to see price keep going up. All right, so we're going to mute again, and then we'll see what price does here. All right, so I don't like price moving, you know, in here for so long, to get out of there. But it do look like, let me see where price is closing. Okay, so it looks like it's closing. I want to see it close below this 2-minute inversion and below the 2-minute fair value gap in the lower half. If not, then we're probably going to get taken out. And as I mentioned, we're going to focus on full transparency on this channel. So if we get taken out while we read price and what we're looking for, that's perfectly fine. So let's see, we're not going to move or stop, move or, and it's going to do what it needs to do, right? Yeah, so price closed below that there, and look like we're going to be taken out of this trade. And looks like price wants to actually go higher, and I don't want to be a part of that. So yeah, still moving around here. This price action playing with my feelings. As I mentioned, we're following our rules, and if it wants to close or stay inside of this inversion, then I want to see price move below here. Like I don't want to see price taking too long to move down here after this created an inversion. So actually I want to see price move out of here. I don't like how it's spending too much time in here. But this is just the reality of trading, right? Highs and lows, highs and lows. It's just, you know, highs and lows. I don't know if a better way to explain that. If price closes below this candle here, then these three up close candle here, that's gonna be one bullish bearish order block. We'll probably reduce our stop loss, and then we're gonna use our stop loss as our take profit because we're in one contract here. Or we probably just go for like a $80, $100, and then we're good with that. All right, so I'm gonna mute again. I'm going back and forth, and we'll see what price does here. now we're looking at, and I do apologize, my chart look a bit messy here, but now we're looking at this fair value gap there. And since we're in a 2 minute, it is a 2 minute fair value gap. So now we want to see price stay below here. Price is coming back up there. And we are out of the 10-10 macro. Yeah, price is playing around here. Maybe it just wants to take its time and go lower. Maybe it's not finished doing what it's doing up here. But usually when it does that, let me jump on the 1 minute to see what it's doing. All right, so let's see here. Price closing. Okay, I'm gonna get out this trade because price is creating another inversion here. Let's see. Just reading here. Let's see. This is one order block there. Price should respect this here. Go lower, but it's moving a bit heavy. Let's see what price is doing. Come down here. Here. Now it can. Now it's closing below that. Chart is a bit messy. I'm gonna do a little bit of cleanup here. Let's see what price does here. Let's see what price does with this 1 minute fair value gap. Price, and it's creating lows there. Treating the gap as a wick, or the wick as a gap. So this is my last line of defense here. So I'm treating that wick as a gap on the 1 minute. I want to see price close below this and treat this as an inversion. If it doesn't, then that just tells me something in price. It still wants to go above there. And I don't want to be a part of that if it does that, right? Yeah, so price might just want to be, take its time and just go lower. Now this is a 1 minute inversion. You want to see that price stays below that, right? Actually want to see price staying heavy. Stop loss is above this swing high here, which is staying intact at the moment. And we're in the 1 minute, so we're executed on the 2-minute time frame, and now we are looking at price on the 1 minute. We did an execution, I believe, about 11 o'clock, so it's still in the silver bullet window. We could hold trades outside of that. Execution, for me, needs to happen between 10 and 11, but we could hold trades after that time. We don't have to, if price comes here, I'm closing because it's 11 o'clock. That's not it. You could execute inside of the time window and then wait for price to, does what it needs to do afterwards. All right. So again, my apologies. As I mentioned, I don't want the background noise to be picked up, so I'm just muting my mic, and then we're just watching price really. Let's see. Go back up on the 2 minute. Let's see how price doing here. And this is what ICT talks about when he says these are like higher resistance. So whenever we're in a high resistance environment like this, and price is just playing around back and forth, me personally, I don't like to be in those kind of trades. We're so high that I'm expecting price to go lower, and being inside of this inversion, I just want price to go lower, but it looks like it's just playing around here. So this is like what ICT would classify as a high resistance liquidity run. Once price takes these out, I might reduce my stop loss, as I mentioned before, but we're looking for like at least $80, $100, $50. So 50, 80, or 100, right? We're not being greedy. We'll be right back again. Once we see price does something significant below these lows here, then we'll jump back in and we'll talk over price. Now we're at our last line of defense here. Treating that wick as a gap. Let's see what price does right there. Let's close out of here. Let's see price, and we're still looking at this inversion here, and that was on the 15-minute. Let's okay, so price is okay. I don't want to move my stop loss, but it does look like it wants to take out this and keep this swing high. And on the 15-minute, we do have this 15-minute fair value gap there. Let's see, 15-minute fair value gap. So we want to see price close below this here before we could say, yeah, we want to see price close below that. And this is how I cycle throughout time frames, just to see what we are at in price. I want to see price close below here. Once price close below here, stop loss would be moved. If not, then we're going to be taken out over there. So let's just stay on the 15-minute as well and see if we get that. All right. All right, guys, so we are back. So I am going to, let's see, now we have this 15-minute fair value gap. Oh, if I could get it. Come on, there we go. Now we have this 15-minute fair value gap for price. We want to see price close between here. But as I mentioned, we're going to stick to our rules. I did want to see like at least $100 or 50, 80. That's what we're aiming for. So when price, what I'm going to do, if price closes below here, if I had 2 contracts on, I would have taken one here, but just to stay true to my statement, I am going to close here. Yeah, I'm going to close here. Even if price runs and close below, run back all the way down here. I just want to be able to stick to my, what I said I was going to do, right? Because if I say, hey, I said I wanted $100 and then I change, I'm like, oh, let's get 150. What am I benefiting from, right? So let's close out there, and we just made $100. Took a long time, high resistance liquidity run, and that's what trading is. So I'm gonna get this posted today. By the end of the day, I know a lot of people who's probably not here at this point of the video, and that's okay. You can watch the video on 2x speed on YouTube if you want to change it like that. But as I mentioned, I want my channel to be the reality of trading, right? We don't want to just jump in a trade and then I only show you the execution. Like what is my thought process? And I think that's why a lot of people don't appreciate, or we'll say stay too long around when ICT talks, because he's talking about price action, and then he goes off and give you some life lessons, and that I appreciate. It helps me grow. So that's why I could sit here and go over price action like the way I am doing, and just getting a better understanding of that. So I want to take a page out of that book, not wanting to show just the execution. Oh, this is what I'm getting in, this is what I'm getting out. What is new traders coming and learning from that? We're going to teach patience, we're going to teach discipline, and that's going to be equal to consistency. We have to be patient. So with that, peace. I'm out.